Hey everybody! Well, today I thought we'd take a look at another one of these nice wood model kits. Now this one is by a company called Wincent, I guess is the name of the company. And this is one of these little marble run type of things. Now I've built quite a few of these marble run type kits. A couple of them were pretty elaborate. They had little stairs that made the ball go up and had a lot of swirls and stuff. This one here is a much more simple one. I think this kit was only like $26 on Amazon. And so it doesn't have as much going on with it. It does have a solar powered motor on it, which I'm not really sure I like that just yet. Some of those solar panel things are a little bit wonky. You need really bright light to make it work, but I don't know. I guess we'll try it and see how it goes. Alright, well let's see what the parts look like for this. Okay, so here are all the parts that this kit comes with. It is definitely a smaller kit than the ones I built in the past, but they are very similar to the Roker kits, where it's this wood panels and they have the laser cut pieces in here, which are very nice. You can see the gears and stuff where the marbles go in there. Here are the tracks, and these pop out really nice on all of these kits. They're very easy to pop out of there. You can always sand down the burrs if you have to. And then over here, so yeah, there's only about 4 sheets, well, 4 sheets of the big sheets, I should say, and then you got these smaller ones here. And that's probably the floor of it. And then some more wheels here. Now, oh gosh, I was so happy to see this. It does come with this battery pack. I'm really glad because I thought it was going to only be solar powered. So you have a choice of using batteries or the solar panel. So I'm really glad they didn't make it just solar powered. So that's good. Because like I said, you really have to have a lot of light on this thing to make it work. It's got to be pretty much in direct sunlight. And there's going to be times that you're not going to have it, the sun available to do it. And so here we go. This is a motor. Nice motor for this. There are 3 balls with this kit, a couple of those little sprue pieces or those little dowel kind of pieces. It gives you a little bottle of glue, which is nice. Elmer's type of glue, a piece of sandpaper, and then the wax crayon, because you always have to put wax between these gears to make them slide against each other, so it's very cool. Here's the instructions for this, and it's only 1 sheet of instructions, so it's very easy. It's not going to take too long to put this together. I can probably put this together in an afternoon. Everything goes together very nice, hopefully. So you can kind of see how all of that's done. Those tracks are sometimes a little bit tricky to put together. And you have to be kind of careful because they're very thin. You have to be kind of careful with those. But this should be fun. This should be a fun kit. I'm glad it's not, really complicated or anything. Alright, well, I guess I'll get started on this, and if there's anything interesting along the way, I'll pop in about that, but if not, we'll see what it looks like when it's all complete. Okay, so I am up to this point now. This whole section here was pretty fiddly to put together. There's a few things on here that I think if you're going to build this, you need to know about. First of all, the gears, you want to wax the inside of those gears. Before you put everything together, put wax in those gears because they're all going to rub. Anytime you see wood is going to rub against each other, make sure you put wax on there. And also on the sides of the gears here as well, put some wax in there where it's going to rub up against, any of the sides right there. And then also, one thing I screwed up on, so it's really hard to put this whole thing together because you're trying to hold each one of these gears in place. This one, and then there's one inside there. See that little one? And then there's a metal pin that goes in between that gear and into the motor right here. So you're trying to hold those in place while you're trying to make sure you put this large gear that goes around here in the teeth of this gear and this gear. And then when you're trying to put the motor in, you're trying to line up the hole of that metal pin that goes through there. You can see the metal pin right there. So it's really fiddly. And then another thing is, on the instructions here, none of the parts are actually, they tell you A7, A10, but none of the parts are actually numbered on here. They're just, you just got to kind of look at them and figure out what's what, which isn't too bad, but when, sometimes you have to kind of know a little bit more like these gears to make sure you don't get them mixed up. And then the other thing is, let's see, what was the other part that I had a problem with? It was, oh, I know. See the middle gear there, the big round one right here that kind of goes around. Okay, see how it's got that round connector point right here? It kind of shows the round connector point. So one of the gears, the back, see they're labeled back, and then this one's front. But you don't know which one's the back and the front because it doesn't say on the instructions. So the only way you know what's what is on the connector points on here. Let me see if I can find, of course they're all buried under the other pieces. Okay, see that one's got the square like dovetail connector, and the one on this side has got the round one, which you can't see because it's buried underneath it. We can kind of see a piece of it right here. So make sure you put the round one on that side like it shows here. And it's specific because if you look at the hole on here, see how that's sloped right there? That's how the ball rolls out of those holes, is because it's got to have, well, that's the only one you can see. It's got to have that slope so that the ball rolls out in that direction. Also, the little biscuits like right there that fit in between these three pieces right there, they're kind of loose, so you're going to have to put a little bit of that glue in there to hold that in place. Alright, so anyway, I mean, it's going together pretty good for the most part, but there's certain parts of this that I think could have been a little more clear. Okay, so I've got this much done now, and this is where we're building the motor and battery compartment. So I'm going to skip that, that spot there is where you can put the solar panel. I think I'm just going to skip that part because I'm never going to run this on solar. I'm just going to run it on batteries. So it's very cool how this fits in here. They have this little wood piece that actually fits right on the switch right there. So you can just pull it out to turn it on so you don't have to keep opening this. The battery compartment was kind of hard to get out of these little wood holders right there. So I took a piece of Scotch tape and just kind of made this little shape right there. I just kind of made it like a little, I don't know, like a little miniature handle, and then that way I can just kind of grip it like this and pull it out. It's a whole lot easier than trying to fight with it. And I also took a hobby knife and shimmed down those edges. See how they're shimmed down there? Because it was a little tight and it was hard to get this thing out of here. So by having this on here now, it can fit on there much easier. Alright, so making some progress. Okay, so we got the whole thing built now, and you know what, this actually went together pretty good. There was a few little hiccups here and there, but for the most part it went together pretty nice. You know, as I mentioned, I kind of have put together some really complicated ones of these, so this one here is pretty simple compared to some of the other ones available. Now when you do put together something like this, you're going to find that you are going to, you know, you'll test it, and you'll find that the balls get stuck on certain parts of it, or something's not right, or maybe the design of it wasn't quite right, and you have to alter it and do some modifications, and that's kind of the case that I had to do with this. I'll show you some of the stuff that I had to change, but I did go ahead and go with the batteries on the inside here. If you want, you can go ahead and use this solar panel if you want, because it's just plug and play. You can just disconnect the batteries and put this on instead. But for me personally, this is kind of a hassle only because you need super bright sunlight to make that work. Alright, well, let's get some close-ups of this and I'll turn it on and we can see how it works. Okay, now when you do turn this on, you're going to have to make sure that it's balanced properly. So maybe whatever table you put it on, you can put the ball on the table and see which way it rolls. And if you have to, you can put a little shim under there, because that's kind of what I did here. You can see I put a little extra piece. But I've noticed that when I turn this, it messes up the balance. So I'll show you from this side first. So we'll go ahead and turn this on. And then it'll start running everything on here. And you can see how all of this works. The motors, the motor, it's just one of them in there, is actually pretty quiet. And you can see how it's going on there. So, you know, the balls go down to the bottom, and then this gear, you can see it collects the balls right here. You can see them right in the top. You can see them. And it gets fed to the top of the ramp. And it just keeps circulating over and over. Let me show you the other side. This angle here shows kind of how it looks from a 3/4 angle, which looks really cool. You can kind of see it from the top. It's kind of neat. It's like a little roller coaster for these little balls to roll. It's really cool. Now from this side you can see how all of this works. So you can see how the balls go down here at the bottom. And when they come back around here, you'll see how they get fed into the bottom right here. And then this brings them right back around where it drops them off up here at the top. It's very cool. Yeah, this works really well. Okay, now I got to show you the things that I had to tweak on here. Okay, so when the balls come around this corner, you'll see that I had to add those little, they used to fly off of this curve because they came around there too quick. So you'll notice I put these two pieces of wood right on the edge. See those right there? I kind of just glued them in there just to keep the balls from flying off of there. Just kind of gives them a little bit of a ramp, because if you look, the tracks meet up down inside that little tunnel, And that because there's a little bump right there, it tends to make it jump up just a little bit. And that's what was making it come around that corner and jump off that rail. Now another part I had to fix is this section of the rails right here. It's its own part. You'll notice I had to hot glue right under there. See that? If I can focus on there. I had to hot glue right there. And that's because that doesn't actually rest on anything. It doesn't rest on this ramp or anything. And the problem is it wasn't a sharp enough slope. You can see how it goes downward now. Before that it wasn't going down that much, and especially this part of it right here. This part was not going down far enough, and the balls would get stuck right around here. So I had to kind of hot glue that to the ramp and then kind of push it down and twist it just a little bit to make sure that you got the proper shape of that ramp to make it go down. Getting another view here from the top. Works really well. So this part here was kind of odd. This section of the ramp isn't supported by anything either. You can just kind of see how it just kind of hangs out there, and I thought that was going to be a problem, and I thought I was going to have to put something on there, but it's fine. It adds enough of a slope to keep that going around just fine. So there we go, the Marble Madness machine from Wincent. Got this on Amazon for, I think it was $26, and it was a really fun thing to build. Very fun, it works really well. I like that the whole thing is motorized. The other ones I built had a crank that you had to turn, but I think this is much better to have an actual motor operating it. So if you want one of these, head on over to Amazon and get one. There's a whole bunch of different ones that they make, and by different companies too. A lot of them are from the company called Roker. This is the first time I bought one from Wincent, but they're all about the same as far as the way these things are designed and the way they go together. And the pieces pop out really nice and easy, and very little finagling that you have to do with it. But it works really good, and I like it. It's really fun to watch this thing. Alright, well that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to hit the like button and also subscribe too. I'd very much appreciate it. So thank you very, very much for watching, and I will see you on the next video. So thank you again, and have a good one.